Black Panther Party, the Republican New Africa, included the issue as part of their platforms, and they all jumped on the train. The Black Reparations Commission, led by Sister Dorothy Lewis, the African National Reparations Organization, the National Black United Front, the National Conference of Black Lawyers, and others joined. And other groups and any number of Black people began to get on the train at various stations, and their ticket was their determination to see reparations won, and their willingness to not simply be passengers, but rather to become the workers and the fuel to forward the movement of the train. And then President Mario Boubacar Obadeli of the Republic of New Africa issued a call for the formation of a coalition of organizations to not be in separate cars on the train, but to come together in unison. And in COBRA, the National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America was born, consolidating the cars on the train. And so under the leadership of NCOBRA, the train picked up more cars, and COBRA brought on board organizations and people from sororities and fraternities, from civil rights groups, Black lawyer organizations, Black professional organizations, religious groups, and more. The train moved forward. It leaped with the passage of the Japanese American Redress Bill in 1988. And people who had been on the train looked out the window and saw $20,000 checks being given to each Japanese American detention camp survivor. They saw money for a trust fund to be used to educate Americans about the suffering of the Japanese Americans. People looked out the train window and heard the US government officially apologize to the Japanese Americans for throwing them in internment camps. And we saw those who fought against and resisted going into those internment camps and were in prison, receiving a pardon from the United States government. And whoa, the train almost jumped off the track. Where was the apology for the Black people who had suffered over 400 years of enslavement and post-enslavement degradation? Where were the textbooks to tell the real history, the true history? Where was the pardon for the Black freedom fighters still languishing in prison for fighting against the COINTELPRO war that the US government waged against the Black movement? And COBRA looked around and did not see any of that and vowed that they would work to build it. And Congressman John Conyers was now on this train, and COBRA joined forces with him and worked with his staff to draft legislation for a bill named HR 40 in remembrance of that promised 40 acres and that mule from long ago. And then COBRA got state and local legislatures to get on the board and pass resolutions in support of Conyers' bill, and COBRA developed legislative and litigative and direct action and education and economic development strategies to fuel the train and increase the speed with which it was moving to its destination, reparations. So now with this increase in reparations activity, the train went from one that traveled the back rails to one that was in the main thoroughfare, and reparations initiatives were bumping. Books and articles filtered throughout the train. Research was revealed showing the linkage of insurance companies and corporations to the enslavement era. Universities and religious institutions were opening up their caskets and documenting their ties to enslavement. Slavery disclosure ordinances were passed by local governments. The train was moving faster now, y'all, faster. And at every stop, it began picking up more and more passengers. And let me tell you, there was a certain excitement, a buzz, just a sense of anticipation. The train was moving and everybody wanted to own it, wanted to claim that it was their fuel, their ticket, their effort that was responsible for the train's momentum. The crowds outside the train clamor for a look as the train is speeding down the track. The train is adding new cars. Ta-Nehisi Coates comes on board. The National African American Reparations Commission comes on board, linking the struggle in the Caribbean with the struggles with what's going on here in the States. Evanston, Illinois comes on board, being the first jurisdiction to use public dollars, to fuel reparations justice programs in the city. The ACLU, Human Rights Watch, Color Exchange, Ben and Jerry's Ice Cream, y'all, white people, allies, and many, many more came on board, along with 2020 candidates vying for the presidency. Reparations is on the ballot, y'all. But then trolls on the internet burgeoned, and the hills and valleys reared their ugly heads. But we cannot allow anything to slow down this train and stop its forward movement. We must forever keep in the forefront our purpose, the reason why we're on the train in the first place. We must remember that the train is not just one person or one organization. The train is the concept of reparations, and we must not allow any tactics to destabilize the train or throw it off the tracks. So as I close, my brothers and sisters, think about this. When you're about to go on a trip or a vacation, do you visualize being there before you get there? You know, if you watch your visualization, you see that what you expected is often obtained, and the same is true for reparations. Let's hold onto that vision of obtaining reparations, Adjoa. Let's visualize your elders on that train, Dreesen, sitting around the table negotiating the terms of reparation. Picture a successful outcome in that negotiation, Cam. What do you want for reparations? Stay with that picture, Dr. Carr, as the train traverses the land and picking up more and more passengers, workers, and fuel along the way. Claim the victory, Sister Kenneth. And then all the hills and the valleys will be just that, hills and valleys that will be overcome. Claim the victory, Dr. Daniels, and no power can stop us. Claim the victory, Jessica, and see it unfold. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Can you? I can see the vindication of our ancestors through receipt of reparations. Can you? I can see the school books depicting our history with respect and newfound accuracy. Can you? I can see poverty-stricken communities being infused with resources to provide adequate housing and other life-sustaining and enhancing facilities. I can see it. Do you? I have Imani faith. I claim it. Will you? Open your eyes, y'all. It's time to get off that train because we have reached our destination. Reparations are on the ballot. Victory is certain. Pass HR 40. Reparations now. Back to you, Cam.